All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back on another episode. So, today we're going to be talking about metabolism, everything you need to know, what it is, what are the common myths, how you actually really mess it up, and also how to fix it if you do mess it up. How you mess it up is going to be the exact opposite of how you fix it, or vice versa. But it's always good to know, it's always good to understand. And let's go, let's get into it real quick. Um, this is where we got. So, what is your metabolism? So people are like, "Oh, I have a slow metabolism. Oh, you have a fast metabolism." Da 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 da. All of this stuff. When it comes down to it, you there's no one that really has a fast metabolism, a slow metabolism. It's based off of activity. So the way it basically works is you can have a slow metabolism. That might mean you have a thyroid condition, right? But what it is, it's basically the sum of all chemical processes that your body uses to convert food into energy to keep you alive. So everyone has a metabolism. Everyone's body breaks down food for energy in a different way, different variety, but that doesn't really mean that you have a fast one or a slow one. It's basically, how much calories your body's using for energy, right? So it's broken down into four different ways. So the first way is going to be the biggest way that our body actually burns calories. It's called the BMR, your basal metabolic rate. That's basically all of the calories your body burns at rest just to stay alive, right? So breathing, circulating your blood, organ function, all of that stuff is actually going to be for your BMR. So if you've ever done an in-body scan, if you've ever done anything like that, there should be something where it says basal metabolic rate, and it should say a number. Depending on your size, your height, it's going to be anywhere between 1,100 to 2,000 calories, and that's just your free calories your body needs for the entire day, just so it can function. Right, so that's your BMR. That's not including anything else, like if your workouts, your walks, anything like that. Then there's something else called the thermic effect of food, and that's basically how many calories our bodies use to actually process and break down food, and yeah, that's all. That's all it really is. From there, we have the non-exercise activity. We call it NEAT, and that's just basically exercise, or that's basically movement that your body isn't. It's not. You don't consider it exercise. So, for example, when you go to the grocery store, you park your car, you walk into the grocery store, you walk around, pick up stuff. That's part of the non-exercise activity. After that, we go into exercise activity, eat, right? Which is kind of funny because exercise activity, because we eat too much. Whatever. So these are basically your calories that you burn during workouts. And fun fact, if anyone has a wearable, if anyone is has a heart rate monitor, if anybody does anything like that, and they see how many calories your body burns, those calories are actually wildly inaccurate. There's some people that they go and they work out for an hour and they're like, "Oh, I burned 1,000 calories." That is 100% BS. That's not true. Um, because of the fact there's actually studies that were done on this that is actually wildly incorrect. The heart rate monitors are really good and very accurate with your heart rate, but as far as understanding how many calories your body actually burns, you're gonna have to know a lot more than just your height, your weight, and what your heart rate's at. Right. So it's going to need to know exactly how much muscle mass you have. It's going to need to know exactly how much stress you put those muscles under. It's going to need to know so much more than just those preliminary things. So, fun fact, out of all of these four, the exercise activity is going to be one of the least amount of ways we burn calories throughout the day. So, just so you know, fun fact, right? Yeah, so all of this other stuff, your BMR, non-exercise activity, maybe sometimes even your thermic effect, depending on how you work out, you're actually going to be able to burning more calories through that than anything else. So, um, let's go into the common myths about metabolism, right? So the myth is, and we hear it all the time. It's essentially all fear mongering, where it says, "Oh, you shouldn't be dieting for too long because then you'll stop losing weight." That is absolutely incorrect, right? When you stop eating, there was a gentleman that actually this was a long time ago. He actually didn't eat for an entire year. He was hospitalized. He was um, essentially like on IV and making sure that he still got all of his like he was still like nourished and stuff like that. But he didn't eat for an entire year, and he lost a lot of weight. Um, but his body still kept on burning calories. So if your body adapts to how many calories you're eating, then it should have adapted to not burning any calories. Um, and that's, absolutely incorrect. So a lot of people are like, oh, there's metabolic adaptation, but the truth is it's called a physiological adaptation. Our physical body adapts to what we put it through. So if we stop consuming food, then our body is gonna automatically start getting rid of things that our body needs to burn calories. So our muscles are required, they need calories for it to survive. And if we stop giving it calories, then it's going to start breaking down muscle and it's going to not break down body fat, right? So that's where it goes. Little by little, when we start losing weight, the more weight we lose, the less our maintenance goes as far as how many calories our body needs, right? If you have a 32-gallon tank, you obviously need to put 32 gallons in to fill it up. But if you go from a 32-gallon tank to a 20-gallon tank, then you only need 20 gallons instead of 32. So it's the same exact thing, right? So just vice versa, it goes the right way where it's like, okay, well, if your body adapts to how many calories you put it through, then that basically means that you'll never get fat because your body will just adapt to all those calories you're giving it and it'll burn more. And then let's say I build up all this muscle, I have six-pack lean abs, everything that that everyone wants, and then I stop eating, my body is not gonna just stay the same and it's just going to adapt to the 0 calories. No, it's going to start breaking down all that muscle because I'm not giving it enough to maintain. So your metabolism won't adapt to how many calories you're consuming. Your body will, and at the end of the day, when you look at yourself, that's in the mirror. That's essentially telling you exactly how you're treating your body as far as nutrition goes. The more calories you eat, the more you weigh. How you use your body is going to tell you is also going to show how you look, right? If you're not moving, if you're not lifting weights, if you're not doing anything like that, and you're just eating, you're obviously you're going to gain weight, body fat. Now, the next one goes is the metabolism. The next myth is your metabolism slow down as you age. You hear it all the time where, especially the 40, 50, I'm close to being 40, but I remember, was always told when I was in my younger age, when I was in my 20s, they're like, oh, you're so lucky. You have a fast metabolism. Um, there's actually studies that prove that wrong. As you age, our metabolism doesn't slow down. It's you that slows down, right? So we stop working out, we stop going out, we start sitting behind desks all day. When we come home, we sit on the couch, we eat a lot of calories. We pretend like we're eating like if we're training for a marathon. And I like saying that because when you're training for a marathon, you need to eat a lot because you're running a lot, right? Um, but it's essentially less movement, and that means it's less calories that you burn. So that's why your metabolism slows down. Your metabolism doesn't slow down because your age. Your metabolism is slowing down because you just stopped moving like you used to. In your 20s, you were going out with friends. Your work, you weren't promoted yet to, a better job where you just sit behind the desk. You're probably doing a labor job back then, right? So it's there. Obviously, we have a faster metabolism because we're burning more calories, not because our body's slowing down. So it's all about your lifestyle, and how you do it. So that's exactly what the myth is. It's not your metabolism isn't slowing down. Our metabolism won't slow down so much that it's going to be hard for us to lose weight. It's just we just need to move more, and that's all it really means. So how do we mess up your metabolism? How when there's a lot of people that always say, yeah, man, my metabolism's broken, this and that. The biggest way to mess up your metabolism is basically just an unbalanced eating, right? Unbalanced diet. So you're not matching your food intake to your actual activity. Eating for a marathon lifestyle when you're living a desk and couch, um, or vice versa. That's how you mess up your metabolism. When we look at food, we want to be able to use the food to nourish our body and to give it fuel for what we're already doing. And what's going on is sometimes there it goes both ways. There's people that are out there that are desperately wanting to lose weight and they're working out left and right, running every day, lifting weights every day, but they're not eating enough to nourish their bodies. That's how you that's how you mess up your metabolism. You're not giving your body enough, and your body will just start shutting down. You'll start dying little by little, effectively, right? And then next way is the hard dieting without the strength training. So there's nothing wrong with doing hard dieting, meaning like if your body burns 2,000 calories and you want to lose weight really fast, only eat 1,000 calories, like that's the hardest thing you can do because your body's just gonna just you're mentally just gonna be exhausted. But you can do that. However, if you're not strength training enough or properly, what's going to end up happening is since you're doing a hard diet, you're doing a hard caloric deficit. What's going to end up happening is your body's going to start breaking down muscle, which means your metabolism is going to start going down, which is bad at the end of the day. Right. And then the very last way that you mess up your metabolism, and we all do this, is we just get into a cycle of not moving. Right. The less you move, the less you want to move. Inactivity tanks your NEAT and your EAT, which lowers your total daily calorie burn and shrinks your metabolic engine, meaning that your body doesn't need to use those calories for energy. It's just going to grab those calories, put them in, and all the calories you're eating, obviously you're not going to be using, so it just stores it as fat. So if you want to eat like like if you're going to go run a marathon, then you have to go and run a marathon. You know what I mean? Otherwise, don't eat all that food. It's harder. It's harder to do, and it's easier to say, but that's exactly what how you mess up your metabolism. Um, let's see. So how are we going to fix it? So the best way to fix it is obviously just by starting to move more, right? So don't even worry about hitting the gym just yet. Obviously hitting the gym is really important, but just start moving, right? Focusing on getting about 10,000 steps a day. Focus on um, getting home and not sitting down, actually going around and just doing stuff around the house, going out with your kids, enjoying your life, going outside. That's going to help out. Strength training is obviously one of the best ways, in my opinion, to fix your metabolism because when you start strength training and with a proper nutrition, you're going to start building more muscle. The more muscle you build, the higher your metabolism goes, right? So when I was 160 pounds and at 13% body fat, my BMR was roughly about 1,800 calories. Now I'm back to 140, 145. My BMR is roughly about 1,600 calories, right? So an extra 200 calories goes a long way. And that's me just not having to worry about doing anything. Obviously, my NEAT, my non-exercise activity is probably a little bit higher right now because we're building a gym. I'm moving in to a new place. I'm going around. I made sure to get my apartment on the third story so I can go up 3 flights of stairs every day. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Eat more protein, right? So like we talked about with the thermic effect, when you eat protein, your body actually uses those calories to break down the food that you are consuming. So if you're eating 100 calories of protein, 20 calories of that is going to be automatically gone because it needs to digest your food. So you're essentially those are free calories you're going to be eating. So that's one of the biggest reasons to have a high protein diet. One, because it keeps you satiated, meaning it's going to keep you full a lot longer because it takes a lot longer to break down. But also, it is going to help build more muscle, which the more muscle you have, if you're strength training properly, is going to your metabolism is going to get boosted up. Uh, Trust me when I say this to you ladies that are scared of lifting weights, you're not going to get big. It's going to take you like if you could get big by lifting weights just alone and just eating a normal diet, like it's crazy. Like you can't. I can guarantee that you can't. Um, because I know it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of years of lifting really, really heavy, eating a lot, and being 100% disciplined. And it's not something that happens overnight. So trust me. But anyways, guys, this is exactly the how to fix your metabolism. I wouldn't say also how to not break it, right? So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, your metabolism isn't determined by your age, it's determined by how you move your body. So I don't want anyone thinking that their metabolism is broken. And if they do feel like their metabolism is broken, I want them to follow these steps, right? Just start moving more, start strength training and eating more protein. I do know protein is really expensive. It's, going out to any food chain and trying to eat anything, it doesn't have that much protein, right? If you go to Chipotle, it costs an extra $6 for an extra scoop of protein. Ridiculous. But it's that's why meal prepping is really important. If you guys want to know exactly how much protein you should be consuming every day, shoot me a message. I can help you calculate that. It's definitely, I hear it all the time where it's like you need to eat 100, you need 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh. But here's the thing, guys, if you weigh 300 pounds, you shouldn't and you need to lose 150 pounds, you shouldn't be eating 300 pounds or 300 grams of protein. That's ridiculous. You're going to get backed up, you're going to end up getting constipated, and it's just going to hurt. So it's not necessarily about how much you weigh, but it's definitely, that's usually the rule of thumb. But I can help you out, and I can help you exactly what you want, how you do it. But everyone's case by case, because everyone's activity level is completely different, and that's kind of what we learned here, right? So we want to eat food based off of what we're doing and what our activity level is. So if one day you are going to go in and you're decided I'm going to go run 10 miles, you need to eat a lot more to sustain that. But if you're going to be sitting down behind a desk all day or on the couch all day, you don't need to eat all that much more, right? Or much less. So that's how it goes. Anyways, I hope you guys found this hopeful. I hope you guys take something out of this, and I hope you guys are able to use this to transform yourself into a better person and maybe understand this, and don't get fear mongered into anything. In the fitness space, there's always a lot of people fear mongering, and you can always tell that who they are because they have the solution, but they won't share it with you because they're going to ask you for money before they share it with you. I'm not asking for money. We're here to change lives. Obviously, if you want coaching, obviously, if you want to use our facility, obviously, if you want to be part of, the camp community, you have to pay to play for that. But as far as the knowledge is free, and I'm here to give you guys all the knowledge that I can, all the knowledge that I have. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and I love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know what your biggest takeaway, and yeah, that's kind of it. All right, guys, peace, love, and protein. See you guys later.